Good morning, everybody. Oh, look, there's Jasmine. She stuck her tongue out at me. She's just having her breakfast. It's a nice sunny morning here in Weston-super-Mare in North Somerset. Jasmine's just having her breakfast, like I say. And she's eating quite well. Jasmine's 18 now. She's doing well, aren't you, Jazz? But we want to show you how to change a tap washer in a sort of a kitchen tap. This type of kitchen tap I'll show you. It's that type. Now if you're having to really ram down your really ram it down to get the water to stop, then it's probably due to the washer getting broken down and degrading and just breaking down, and in some cases it just breaks up. And so you really have to ram it down to stop the water, and you get a constant drip, drip, drip. This is what this tap is doing. It's the second time I've had to change the tap washer. I'm sure the quality of rubber is deteriorating. I'm sure in the old days the rubber seemed to last a lot longer, because I suppose this kitchen I put in about 12 years ago, and that this is the second time I've had to change the tap washer. So the first job you need to do is to shut the water off. Now a lot of taps will have like isolator valves. Now there are isolator valves I put in, but they're right in there, and I couldn't be bothered to take all that stuff out because look, my wife's crammed that right up. How the hell does she find anything in there? God knows what's at the back of there. I mustn't blaspheme, I beg your pardon. But look, in the back there is the isolator valves, which I could use if I took all that gear out, which I'm not going to do. So I've switched my water off. You should have like a stopcock somewhere. So, I mean, you might be able to get to yours, which is all well and good. I've got one there in the toilet, or you could have one out in the road. So one way or another, shut the water off. Do not attempt this with the live main on, otherwise you will get very wet and it'll be a terrible mess it'll make. A few tools you need, potentially a pair of water pump pliers, adjustable spanner, some sort of screwdriver depending on the sort of screws you have that hold the little tap handle bit in, maybe a wire brush, rags, some towels, and possibly a reseating tool. It's not 100% necessary, it depends how hard the water is. You get like a build up of hard water deposits, and that can cause the tap seal not to seat so well. So if you're in a hard water area, you may have to clean that off, scrape off some of the lime scale that builds up. I actually have done this one this morning already, so to make it easier, I've got everything quite loose. So it makes the video a little bit easier, because I've got to try and hold the camera at the same time. So number one, there is your tap. So this is your regular kind of tap, which often you get. First of all, loosen this cap here. That's just like a little kind of protecting cap. Behind there is the screw that actually just holds this tap handle in place. Now this one's a crosshead, you can just see in there. Now these can be a bugger sometimes to get off. Like I've got one on the bar which I cannot get off. And in the past, I think someone has torn off the head of the screw. So if that happens, you're a bit knackered, I think, as far as I know. I don't know how you'd have to drill it out. It might be easy to buy a new tap. So in this case, these ones I kept a bit of grease on these, so I know they come out quite well. So I just hold the tap and I just loosen those. Hold the tap and then loosen it. I've got the camera, so I can't do that. There we go, that's coming out all right. Now you can just lift this off. It's on like a spline. There we go. Keep all your parts organised, don't lose anything. Then there's like a cap here. Let's get the adjustable on that. This one's made of plastic, like a cap. So we'll just loosen that off with your adjustable. These shouldn't be on very tight. There we go, just loosen that off, spin this off. There we go. Well, there's all your mechanism which shuts the water off. What I normally do is I'll put that back on, open the tap right up. There we go. Don't lose the screw, keep all the bits together. That's the screw that holds it in. Like I say, that's got a spline in it. It doesn't matter how that goes on though, that's irrelevant. With your adjustable, you can now remove this part here which has got the washer on it. So you can just use these can be, sometimes these can be quite tight if they've not been off for a long time, so you may have to grab hold of the tap to stop it spinning because you don't want to loosen it. Luckily these ones have been all right because it's, like I said, it's not been in a huge amount of time. There we go, loosen that, and then this will come out. There'll be a bit of water coming out, so get a towel ready. There we go. After it comes, sometimes they can be a bit, this has got a new washer, so we've got a bit of water coming out here. Just get the water back into the basin. There we go. There shouldn't be too much water in there. There we go. This one's got a bit of water coming out. Let's shut that off. Here we go, it'll stop in a minute. There we go, it's stopped now. There we go, there's still a bit coming out. There we go, it's almost finished now. Don't be worried, but if your water's shut off, it shouldn't come out. I mean, I did actually leave both the taps on, but there's obviously a little bit of water still in the system. So before you take it off, keep the tap on until the water all stops running out. There's a little bit of an airlock here and some of the water's still running out. There we go, it's almost gone now. That's it. So that's okay. Now let's have a look at this. Excuse me. So here is, that's a new tap washer on there. Now I'll show you what the old one looked like. That was the old one. It's actually broken up, so that was actually still on there. Excuse me. So you've got to pull the old one off. This was actually still, this bit was floating around inside there. So you get a little tool like this you can use, like a dental tool. You can just check in there where your old washer is. Have a good look down in here. If this comes out and there's only a part of the washer on there, like in my case, all I had was that little bit of washer on there. This bit had completely detached and was stuck down in there. So make sure you have a good look. Get a little tool like this and you can just tease it out carefully. Like I was saying, my washer was so bad it had broken up in 2 pieces, so the inner bit had come out. That little tiny bit, like I say, was still on there. What I should have said before, go down to your local DIY store and get a few different size tap washers. Most of them, the kitchen sinks use a tap washer of that size, but you can get slightly smaller ones. Shows you the different range of sizes. So be prepared, get a few, they're only cheap. Come in little packs, you know, like £2. That one there's quite a big one. That's what I don't know what that would be for. Maybe an big outside tap maybe. But there we go, yeah, so get your rubber washers ready. Just like a little, I'm sure the rubber quality is not as good as it used to be. And then obviously get it off. It's got like a little mushroom head on a shot and then a little shallow shaft, short shaft with a little mushroom head. The mushroom head traps the washer on. You kind of put it onto like a board. What I do, you just get it on a board, pretend that washer's not on there, and you just kind of push it on, and it sort of, the hole is small, but it will force over the mushroom head. And then when it's forced on, just whiz it around a bit and just make sure it's seated in there. Now there are some on here. There are some other little O-rings on this one. Now don't ask me about replacing these because I don't know where you get those from. I mean, they just stop the tap leaking from past there if water gets past that washer. So I mean, to be honest, a lot of these taps throw away. A lot of people don't even bother changing the tap washers. Like if you've got a plumber out, you'd probably say, well, it's cheaper to put a new tap on. But if it's just the washer gone, then it's a simple job. And you can do it in a few minutes. But there are O-rings in here. And this actually could be something, if you can get hold of them, you could replace, but I don't know where you get an O-ring like that would fit that. You might be able to get a universal set and put it on, but I'm not sure. So that one seems to be intact, so I'm leaving that well alone. You can buy like these box sets of all different O-rings, and you might find one that would fit if yours was perished, like in little DIY stores they sell like those little boxes with multiple different O-ring sizes on it. But that one appears to be okay, so I'm going to leave that one alone. It wasn't actually leaking from that part. So I'll leave that one alone for now. I'm just going to change the tap washer. So there we go. Now once you put your tap washer on, you can put a bit of silicone grease around it if you want. Now you can, in some cases, like I said, if you've got a lot of lime scale build up in your area, you can buy a little tool like this. They come in different sizes, you put different size heads on. That will actually scrape away, clean off the lime scale, so your washer reseats better. That's a small one there. So yeah, do that. If you can look down inside then, if you can see clean brass, it's a bit difficult to see, let's get the top. If you can see clean brass in there, then you're probably okay. If you've got a load of nasty lime scale in there, it might be a good idea to clean it off with a reseating tap. In the worst case, you'd have to scrape it off with a screwdriver if you can't get hold of that carefully. Don't damage that. These are brass inside, so don't gouge it too much. Go steady. Then clean it out with a bit of tissue and just don't leave the debris in there because that could damage the washer. So once you've done that, you can replace this back on, and it's kind of reverse sort of the procedure. That just goes in there like that, screws up. There we go, that goes in there like that. Don't do this up too tight, because when you come to take it off next time, you'll have a devil of a job to get it off, so you don't have to kill it. Just put it on, pinch it up, like that, let's pinch that up. There we go, that goes on there like that, and you've got your other, you can give these a bit of a wire brush, and if they're all manky, give them a bit of a clean down with a wire brush. There we go, that screws back on there. Oh, I get that cross thread that, in it goes, that's just plastic, this one. It's only a cheap old tap, this one. I mean, you can change the whole tap if you really want to, but it's a bit of a fag. And if you've got plenty of room to get in there, then yeah, you could change the whole tap, but you don't really need to do that if you can just change the tap washer. And that goes back on there like that over the splines. There we go, that's back on there, it just sits on there nicely. And you've got your little screw, pop that in there, your screwdriver, locate that in there. Like I say, do not over tighten this either, you do not have to over tighten this, because if you do, you'll be sorry later on. Hold that, let me just do that up. Oh, difficult one-handed this. There we go. Okay, that's just nipped up there. Now when you turn it down, you can feel it much better. It just goes in more smoothly. Before I was having to really ram it down and it was still dripping. Then you just screw your little cap on that says hot on it. I've got my, any sort of clever person that's a plumber will notice I've got my hot and cold round the wrong way. And when I put the kitchen in, I connected the pipes up underneath the wrong way. You're meant to do it for blind people, I believe. Hot's meant to be left, cold's meant to be right. I've done it the wrong way around and I couldn't be bothered to change it. That is the job done really now. All you've got to do now is turn the water on. So make sure the taps are off when you do that. I'll switch that off. Switch that one off. And there we go. Off and off. Go and turn your water back on. I normally turn the water on a bit slowly, only like a little bit like that. properly on. I'm going to get a lot of splattering going on with the air. There'll be air in the system. It's going to go. Let's do that. There we go. Let the water, let all the air come out. There you go. That's the air in the system coming out. I can hear it gurgling a bit. Let's turn it on a bit more. Here we go. I didn't turn it on enough, I don't think. There we go. There we go. That's a nice almost there. That little cap on. Cold. There we go. That's it, job's done, and that shuts off nicely. Clean it up so your wife doesn't tell you off. Best to do this when the wife's not around, because otherwise you'll get into trouble. She just popped out, so it gave me the opportunity to do it. I've got to paint the bloody stairwell now. It's never ending, isn't it? So there we go. That's a nice little sort of little job you could do. Something that you've been putting off for a long time. The old drip tap. But like I say, get prepared. It's all about preparation. Get the tools ready. Get all your tap washers. Get ready, and then you won't have to break away and go and get anything that's unexpected. Get a range of tap washers in. Anyway, I've talked enough, haven't I? Anyway, there you go, guys. Over and out. Have a good weekend. Bye.